I've been up for 3 nights. My eyes are bloodshot red.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing two looks, and I know it's been a minute since I did a two looks video. However, I'm ready, I'm willing, I think I'm able, and I'm excited because I haven't gotten creative in a little while. Not that this look that I'm wearing right now is like the most creative thing you've ever seen in your life, but like I haven't really worn any colorful makeup in a really long time, quite frankly, because I've been glued to my desk in my house almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So yeah, where am I wearing it, you know? But when I saw that Urban Decay released the new Naked palette, I knew I needed to do looks with it because I always do looks with their Naked palettes. So this is the Naked Wild West palette. That's what it looks like on the outside. I really like the snakeskin packaging on this. Just full disclosure, I know a lot of you guys are used to me doing looks with my Urban Decay palettes and I get them in PR. I was not sure if they were sending this in PR and I was unwilling to wait to find out. So I bought this at Sephora myself. Just FYI. If they do wind up sending me one, I'll do a little giveaway and give it to one of you guys. So I'm pretty excited to do some looks today. I hope you guys are excited too, because otherwise what the hell's the point, right? As usual, I will timestamp the video chapter of the looks in the review if you want to jump to something, come back, recreate a look, something like that. Also, I'll leave everything that I use on my face in the description down below. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a quick little second to do it, because I really appreciate it and it's very helpful, and thank you in advance. If you're newish around here, maybe you've watched one or two videos, or maybe this is like your first few seconds of any of my videos, I'd still like to encourage you to subscribe because I think you'd have a good time and I would love to have you stick around. This palette didn't arrive in the mail until 2:30 p.m. so I'm in a little bit of a rush, and that is why I'm gonna slide right on into the first look without wasting any time. So let's just get into it. Look number one with the new Urban Decay Wild West palette. For the first look, I'm thinking a more grungy spotlight cut crease using the cool tone shades in this palette for the most part. I might use some of the browns in here too, but when I opened it up, I realized when I saw it in person, there are a lot of mattes in this palette and a lot of them really lean into the more cool side, so I kind of want to play with that a little bit as well. So to start off, I'm going to take my BH number 6 brush and I'm going to go into the shade Laredo. I'm going to use that to start smoking out the crease area. I'm going to bring it up pretty high because I'm going to put a lot of shit in the crease. And the higher I bring this up, the more I'll be able to still have room for the other shit. It's a highly scientific explanation of why we do things the way we do. Once that's done, I'm going to grab a clean brush and just blend the edge of that. And although this is going to be like a grungy spotlight sort of a situation, I am going to flick the end out just a little bit. On my MAC 221 brush, I am going to go into the shade Pony Up, which is like a medium gray matte. And I'm going to, oh my god, I'm going to drop everything apparently, but I'm also going to just put it right through my crease on a smaller brush to start adding depth. I'm keeping that slightly above my actual natural crease so that we can cut into it and exaggerate the shape of the eye a wee bit. And I'm going to go back into a little bit of Laredo on that same brush and just use that to blend those two together too. I'm also going to take a little bit of Pony Up on the outer corner and use it to start making a little point that meets the end of where we flicked out that crease color, because we're going to do a whole lot of other stuff in there, just trying to get the party started on the shape. I'm going to take my Sigma E36 and I'm going to go into this deep matte turquoise shade Tex. I'm going to place that through the crease also on top of those grays. This one is giving me a lot of kickback in the pan, which I was not expecting, but we shall see where that takes us as far as fallout on my face. I'm just going to work that through the crease and also down onto the outer and inner portions of the lid, just to get a little bit of that like turquoisey blue thing happening. I am getting a lot of fallout like onto my actual lid, which is inconvenient, but that's okay because we're going to cut the crease anyway. Hopefully that does not interrupt our crease cutting. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of Pony Up and use that to just work that blend up through the crease again. I'm using a really light hand here because I'm trying to blend this very deep turquoise without bringing it up too much higher. I'm going to take a makeup wipe real quick and just go right underneath my eye and wipe away any of that fallout. I did get quite a bit of fallout with that shade, but I'm also just going to take it and just wipe it across the center of the lid because there is quite a bit of it there, and I don't want the loose shadow mixing in with the concealer that I'm going to put down as a little spotlight. So I'm going to grab the Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer in the color Pure White. And a little round cut crease brush, pop it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna make a little spotlight cut right in the center. And for those of you who watch my videos all the time, you're going to say, shut up, Nicole, you say this every time. But if you're new around here, what I like to do is stamp on the shape of the cut crease with my eye open so I can measure where it's going to land, and then we work down from there, like by tilting our head back like that, like, well, okay, that kind of a thing, you know? I'm just going to use my finger to tap over the edge and blend that into the surrounding shadows. All right, my friends, it's time for us to reach for our first shimmer of the day. I'm gonna go into this shimmering turquoise shade Bud on a flat brush. This is a MAC 242S. I always forget what this is called, and I also rubbed the label off of it with my fingies. I'm gonna try these shadows straight from the brush without wetting it first to see how we like it, and if I feel like we need to wet it, we will. I think it'll do okay without wetting it, but I do want to see if we can muster some intensity by wetting it. So let's see what happens. Bring a little bit of MAC Fix Plus on there and pop it on. It's a little bit more intense. I don't really think it needed the wetness, but whatever, good measure. I'm gonna go back with my Sigma E36 and back into the matte shade Text. I'm just gonna put that over the edges of that to blend that into the surrounding shades. I'm also gonna take this little detail brush. This is like a little lip brush from an old Tarte set that I had. And I'm just gonna use the edge of that brush to kind of outline along the top of that cut crease and just make it a little bit more sharp. Sometimes if I don't feel like my cut crease is hitting quite right, this is like the little difference I need to do to make it just be like more, a little more. I also want to make the center of this pop just a little bit, just a little more, a little fucking right in your face. I'm gonna take my ring finger. I almost said this is my pinky finger. I don't even know what my fingers are anymore. And I'm gonna go into this silvery shade Cowboy Rick, and I'm gonna pick that up on the brush that Mother Nature gave me, and I'm gonna pop that right in the center to make that pop a little bit more. Say pop one more time, Nicole. I do like the way that shade is layering over this turquoise. That's pretty. I think that's a really nice topper shade, actually. I don't know if that's what they intended it to be, but it certainly works well as one. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more of Bud so we don't lose all of that shade. Make sure we tap it back in there, a little tap, tap, tap-a-roo. And I'm just gonna take that same little detail brush and place a little bit of that shade Cowboy Rick right at the top of the cut so that it pops the most right there. For the lower lash line, I'm going to grab the Urban Decay pencil in the color Deep End, Urban Decay Classic, and I'm just going to run that through my waterline to kind of reflect these turquoisey tones that we've got going on here. One of my all-time faves, and I haven't used it in ages. And to smoke out the lower lash line, I'm going to go straight into the matte turquoise deep shade Text on a NABLA pointed crease brush, and I'm just going to sweep that underneath and bring it up to meet the shape that we have pointy out over here. And to blend that out, I'm just going to grab a clean blending brush and just go over the edge and slightly pull down my skin so I can blend into the fine lines underneath my eyeballs. On a Luxie 111 mini brush, I'm going to go into that shade Cowboy Rick again. I'm going to pick that up on there. I'm going to pack it on real nice. I'm going to wet it, and I'm going to use that to highlight the inner corner. Ooh, that's actually quite a lovely inner corner highlight. I think so far, Cowboy Rick might be my favorite shade in this. All right, I finished up my skin. I added a few freckles and filled bang moles back in with some freck. I put on House of Lashes Siren Double, which are some of my favorite lashes. And what I think I'm gonna do for the lip is like a warm nude shade, but like a juicy nude, you know? Not a dry nude, not a wet nude, just juicy right in the middle. So I'm gonna use the BUXOM Full Force lipstick in the color Fly Girl. These are kind of a satin finish, and I'm gonna line my lips with the ColourPop Lippie pencil in the color Bumble. And this is the first look. So for the second look with this palette, I want to go into more of the warm tones that are in here. But what I want to play with is the idea of using those warm tones in conjunction with these little turquoise shades that are in here. Because personally, in my opinion, that's what makes this palette at all unique. Because if you took those out, it's literally just another completely neutral palette. So I am going to go into those warms, but I'm going to work in Text and Bud as well and see how we get them to play together, because it should be interesting. To start, I'm going to grab my BH number 6. I'm going to go right into the shade Nudie. This is so pale, but I kind of just want to see how it appears on my skin. It seems like it could make a little bit of a difference, so worth putting down, I suppose. And even though that is so light, I'm still going to go over the edge and blend that with a clean brush. On a BH number 7, I'm going to go into this warm brown shade, Ghost Town. It's rust color, if you will. I'm going to put that through the crease too. I'm going to keep it more concentrated. I'm also going to flick the end out, starting to create a little bit more of like a cat shape. And with that clean brush, I'm going to keep working that through the crease, just not put too much more of the product down, because I don't want it to become overwhelming. I also went for a really long walk outside over the weekend, which there was like an entire weekend between the first look I filmed and this, just FYI. And my lips and my eyelids are chapped from the cold wind. Like, that's how cold it is and how windy and shitty it is here in New England this time of year. I went out for a walk and my eyelids are chapped. What the fuck? It's not gonna stop me though. I love me a good walk. I live for a walk. I'm gonna grab my Sigma E36 and I'm gonna go into the matte deep turquoise shade Tex. I'm gonna start working that through the crease as well. And I'm also gonna, I'm gonna drop everything again. I'm very dropsy lately. I'm gonna work that right through the crease where we put down those browns. I'm gonna keep it a little bit more concentrated though, almost like a line of this, but blended. And I'm also gonna work that into a little wing shape on the outer corner. I'm gonna pick up the last brush I used with the warm brown shade. I'm gonna use that without any additional product just to work that blue into the brown to help blend them together, because that could be a bit of a stretch as far as blending is concerned. I'm gonna grab a MAC 242 brush, it's just a little flat brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Rustler, which is a dark shimmering brown. And I'm gonna use Rustler as most of my lid shade, at least on the outer and inner portions. Might highlight it a little bit more in the middle. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it down in that empty space that I have there, and then I'm gonna work that crease color back into it so we kind of like blend those more neatly. Actually, I'm just gonna take it over the whole lid just to make my life easier, and when I need to highlight the center portion, we'll do that over it. And now back with that color Tex on the Sigma E36 brush and just blend it back through the crease again. On my ring finger, I'm gonna go into a little of this gold shimmer called Hold'em. I'm gonna pop that in the center of the lid, because like I said, I want to bring that forward a bit and highlight the center. And to emphasize that effect a little bit more even, I'm gonna go back into Cowboy Rick that we used in the first look, take a tiny bit of that on my ring finger and pop that right in the very, very center. All right, I actually off camera wound up taking my Sigma E06 winged liner brush and using that to apply a little bit more of Tex in a sharper shape, and it did such a better job of building that color. I wanted to show you guys how I did it because it made such a huge impact on how it looked. I also feel like I want a little bit more of a deep shade in here. And because Rustler, even though it's a darker shimmer, is a shimmer, it's reflecting too much light in that area for my taste. I'm gonna take the Sigma E06 brush, a clean one, and I'm gonna go into the matte dark brown shade Whiskey. I'm just gonna pop a little bit of that over Rustler just to tiny amount deepen up that corner. All right, I'm gonna go clean up some fallout and finish up this side because I literally stopped like 3 swipes in to try to fix this one because I wasn't happy with it, and so now we have some other cleaning up to do. We'll be right back and we'll continue on. I think I want to do a winged liner to like continue this shape but like bring it down onto the lid, but I want to do it with an actual liner instead of the shadows because I wanted to have a little bit more of a crispness to it. And I have these 2 liners from Melt. One is Fortuna, which is more of a green, and this one is Slate, which is more of like a blue, and the color I want is kind of in between these, so I'm gonna mix them on the back of my hand and then use them on a brush, and we're gonna do it like that. Honestly, I totally could have gotten away with doing just one of these colors, but I really wanted to match Tex as far as color is concerned, and I think somewhere right between these two is gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna pick that up on a MAC 266S brush, and I'm just gonna whack on a winged liner with that. And just turning it into a little cat eye. I think I got that color pretty dead on. Not bad, Nicole. Not bad at all. And on my Sigma E36, I'm even gonna take a little bit of that liner through the crease because why not? I just feel like this needs more definition. All right, I put down concealer and powder for the waterline. I think the color Invasion, this Urban Decay pencil, is gonna be the perfect shade to match the liner that we used. I'm gonna sharpen it real quick so I don't poke my eyeball right the fuck out of my head. I'm just gonna run that all the way through my waterline, and I'm gonna tightline with it as well. Ooh, yeah, that is gonna match just lovely. I'm gonna grab a clean pencil brush, and I'm gonna smoke out the lower lash line with text, just right in there, right with that shade. No transitions, nothing. Almost using it like a smoky liner, connecting it to the line we created on the top, and blend the edge of that with a clean brush. And on a Luxie 141 mini brush, I'm going to go into the shade Bud, and I'm going to use that to highlight the inner corner. And if it's not highlighty enough, we're going to layer, but ooh, no, I think that's just right. I think that's really nice, actually. And again, blending the edge with a clean brush. I put on House of Lashes Aquamarine lashes, and I think they did a really nice job finishing up the look. I finished up my skin. For the lip today, I am going to keep it so goddamn simple because I literally, like, I cannot even describe to you under these layers of lip balm what is happening under here. It is so bad. It's so bad, and it's not cute, so I'm not going to do a zoom in like I normally do. What I'm going to do is just simply pat off some of the balm that I have on here first, and then I'm going to just use the Fenty Cream Lip Gloss in the color Fenty Glow. It's a nice, simple, pinky nude. These are hydrating. It's really smooth and delightful, and it'll just kind of help me with what's going on instead of hinder my chapped lip situation worse than it already is. And I also had a whole conversation with my sister last night because she just bought these, and she was talking about how delightful they are, and it just reminded me that they are in fact very delightful and I should use them again. So it all signs point to put this on your lips, bitch. To hide a little bit of the chapping situation that I have like over my lip line, I'm just gonna pat over it with my foundation sponge. So that first, better already, and I'm just gonna pop this on. Nothing fancy, real casual today. And this is the second look. So as far as naked palettes are concerned, usually I feel like I know what to expect as far as the formula is concerned. And for the most part, that is true here as well. Except I do have to say that I feel like the color Tex is a little bit out of character for the naked palettes in general. Not a bad shade, but it's not the easiest to work with. It is definitely more pigmented than you usually get in an Urban Decay naked palette. Usually the colors in a naked palette, even the more pungent kind of colors, are a little bit, they almost have to be built up. And for me, I usually like that about them because it gives me some options, and I don't mind working with them either way. Like, I like both types of eyeshadow. Like, I like something that's incredibly pigmented and I could put it on and then work it down into something less if I need to, and vice versa. Like, I like a shadow that is pigmented enough but can also be built, gives you a little bit more variety, and can be easier to use for day to day. But it does have a big punch of color at first application, which is not typical for naked palette shadows. However, I do feel like that one did give me more fallout than I would like it to. Like, it was a little bit more than like the level before it gets annoying, you know what I mean? And I did feel like I had to be a little bit cautious that it didn't get patchy and like make sure that I was using the right brushes to get the right amount of payoff. But in the end, I was able to make it work. It's not a bad shadow. It's just not exactly what I was expecting for this. The palette overall as a whole, it's a very nice eyeshadow palette. I like that there's kind of a combination between warms and cools in here. I don't know that the color story speaks to me the way some other color stories do for the naked palettes. I think the ultraviolet palette was a little bit more interesting for me. And still to this day, for me, Naked Heat and Naked Honey are the best naked palettes. This kind of falls somewhere in the middle of the pack for me. I'm not super into it, but I don't dislike it either. I don't think that it would be one that I would tell anybody they need to run out and go get. Like, I'm super excited about it. But if you like the color story, I don't think you'll dislike it either. I think it's somewhere in the middle. That being said, I did enjoy doing these two looks. I think they came out pretty good. It was fun. And I do really like the deep turquoise shade. I just wish the formula was maybe not quite as soft because it did kind of make a mess. Even in the palette, like, it's kind of like getting everywhere inside the palette, even just after doing two looks. Just saying. I'm just saying. I feel like I'm being too complainy. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Did you pick this palette up? Are you interested in this one? What was your favorite of the naked palettes so far in the naked palette series that has gone on over the years? Like, damn, they've been making naked palettes for a long time now. Which one is your favorite? Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, because it's very helpful and I would very much appreciate it. If you're new around here, subscribe for more, because that's the best way to get more. Just have it pop up in your inbox. It'll be great. If for some reason you want to hang out with me more often, come find me over on Instagram. I'm at Miss Quinface over there. I post on my stories a lot. I post other things that don't quite make it here to this channel on my feed. Some more creative stuff. I haven't really been doing a ton of that lately, but I have some ideas and I'm thinking about getting back at it. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one.